Hi, I'm Shelley Young, owner of the Chopping Block, and today I'm going to teach you how to make chicken consommé. This is a several day process, generally speaking, but the first step in making the consommé is making a chicken stock. We could also be making a duck stock or a beef stock or any other kind of stock, but we're going to do a chicken stock today. We start with 5 pounds of chicken. This, I'm using whole chicken, but you can use chicken bones if you happen to have a lot of chicken bones around. We've got a couple of carrots diced, onion, 1 large onion diced. We have some celery diced. I've got whole peppercorns, bay leaves, and thyme. We're going to cover this with cold water and let that simmer, and that is below a boil, for about 4 to 6 hours. So our chicken stock cooked for about 6 hours, and what we did then is we strained that through a colander and discarded all the carrots and celery and herbs that were in there, and we chilled that stock completely. And once it was chilled, we skimmed off any impurities that were floating on the top, any additional fat. And the next step is to take that chilled stock. We're going to add a few ingredients into the stock, and that's going to form something that's called a raft. In essence, a consommé is the clearest and most pure of stocks. It's also very intensely flavored, ideally, if all goes well. So it's really an elegant soup or very fine stock, if you want to say that. The ingredients that we put in to purify it are some ground meat. So if I was making a duck stock, I would be using ground duck. If I was making, or a duck consommé, if I was making beef, I would be using beef, and so on and so forth. We're making a chicken stock. So I've got 2 pounds of ground chicken. I've got some julienne carrots, celery, and onion. You know, they vary in size a little bit, but approximately 1 to 2 carrots, depending on the size. A couple stalks of celery, 1 medium onion or so. This is 8 egg whites. Those are going to also help to hold all the impurities, draw the impurities out of the stock. And then we have some more seasonings. These will draw out impurities, but also season the stock even further. We have 8 black peppercorns, a couple of bay leaves, and thyme. And I'm going to mix this weird combination together and dump it into the cold stock. We're going to turn the stock on and let that come to a simmer, and then put it at a very low simmer so that the raft doesn't break up, and that raft's going to draw out those impurities. So let's make this together. So as the consommé came to a boil, you'd use a slotted spoon or a skimmer if you have one, and I skimmed off any impurities that floated to the surface. Now, I don't keep doing that through the whole cooking time, just when it starts to come to a boil. Then I turn it down to a simmer. So my next step here is to try not to disturb that raft, but to skim out the consommé and put that through a cheesecloth. This is a stock pot with a colander and a cheesecloth in it. You can use a bowl or any configuration you want, but the main thing is you want something for the consommé to land in, and to put this through the cheesecloth to try to collect any other impurities that might be in there. So we've strained our consommé, and this is just finished straining. I haven't done anything else to it, and I think you can see the clarity of the stock. It's probably hard for you to garner from where you sit is why I would go through all this work. And I would go through all this work because the taste is what's hard to capture in a video like this, because it is very intense and very pure and really beautiful. And if you've never had something like that, it's worth trying making it at least once. I have not salted this at any point, so I'm adding a little salt. And the most traditional serving for consommé is simple, just a couple of garnishes of julienne vegetables. I've got some carrots and celery here. We put a few of those in there. And we have some buckwheat crepes that have just been sliced. I also love to use this as a base for tortilla soup or wonton soup. Those are fantastic. But that is how you make consommé.